we got two selections of red wines as usual for the Purisima Club this quarter. And it's nice to have the 2015 Block 8 come back. I guess I shouldn't say the 2015, but it's just nice in general to have the Block 8 come back. We had some difficulties in 2014 with this block, and it did not produce the wine that we were hopeful for. And so I decided not to bottle any Block 8 in 2014. But in 2015, the wine is back, and we're really happy to have it back. I think what happened in 2014 was really the intense heat that we had, and the fact that a lot of the grapes got burned. And when they came into the winery, they were all burned up. They didn't have a lot of color, there wasn't a lot of flavor, there wasn't a lot going on. So Block 8 is a really special wine for us, and will only be bottled when it's up to the level and quality that we, predict and that we hope for, and that we're used to with Block 8. And I know people missed it.
Well, I definitely missed it. It's one of my favorites through the years. To me, I don't think there's anything like it out there in the marketplace. It's concentration. It's a big Grenache. Small berries. This first head trained section at Beckmen at the Purisima Mountain Vineyard, which Steve's been experimenting with and also expanding that program. And I think some of the most expressive Grenache that we have are raised that way. It's definitely a crowd pleaser in the tasting room. So there's a lot of grip and body in this wine, and it's not your, the stereotypical Grenache. This is a really rich wine with great length and big body, and I'm excited to give it a go right now.
Yeah, so when we vinified the 2015 Block 8, we took a little bit different path with a couple of the boxes, and we actually did some little bit of whole cluster on it, and so it's going to come across as a little bit different than aromatically than some of our other wines. They typically have been very, very fruit driven in the past, and although I love all that fruit that the Block 8 Grenache gives off, I think I was just looking to add another layer of complexity, and so we did a very, very small amount of whole cluster on it. And I think aromatically it did kind of change the wine a little bit. You still get plenty of fruit and depth on the wine, but there is a spicy, aromatic quality to the wine that maybe hasn't existed in the past.
Oh, it's back. Welcome back.
So the wine actually saw no filtration, and I just loved where the wine was at. It had brilliant color, it had great vibrancy, and so I just decided to go against all filtration, which is a little bit unusual for me. I usually like to do at least a polish filter on all the wines. And I'm really happy with my decision because it smells and hopefully tastes a lot like what I had in tank prior to bottling.
I think it was a great call, and there's no cloudiness to it. It's still very clear, so clean racks, and left all that goodness in there. I'm all about it.
Yeah, it definitely has a kind of deeper, rounder profile, and some serious tannin around the edges and on the back end of the wine, but really good, high quality, fine tannin, which I think the Block 8 typically has a good amount of grip, but there's just a nice kind of roundness or smoothness to these tannins that I really love in the 2015.
Yeah, it's definitely not a heavy wine, but there's plenty in it.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely maybe not as heavy as the last one, the 2013,
yeah.
But it's definitely bold, and it's definitely rich, and it definitely has a ton of texture. I really like what that stem inclusion, that little bit of whole cluster was giving us aromatically. I think it's just taken the aromas to a different place, and hopefully you guys think another level.
I'll drink to that. Stop there.
I can't get a word out of Neil on this wine. He just can't stop drinking it. Cheers.
I'm not going to stop now.